Hi, welcome. We are in between clients on a Monday, and so I thought I would do a little reading. And uh, I don't know. I was just like pausing to release. It felt like remnants of another energy was here that I needed to let go, like thoughts. So now I've reset in the most awkward way. So thank you for being here. This what's here with us right now? I had to release what I like. That little pause felt like a unexpected moment of creating space between what was and what might be here. So what is here with us today? I feel like there's a lot of um, trying to be okay with not knowing. So we'll see if that comes through in today's reading. I'm just going to leave that there because that seems to be the prominent, I don't know, there's the prominent energy I'm picking up on. Like does it feel like there's a collective trying to be okay with not knowing? Like not even trying to be okay with not knowing, but people maybe being mad that there are so many unknowns. There's so many things we're grappling with that we're trying to know or trying to make sense of, and it's like something is like you have to wonder, is something real? I'm getting all the chills. Okay, that must be what's happening. When I was getting ready to say something is asking us, I'm gonna cry. Uh-oh, this feels big. Something is asking us to get comfortable in the not knowing. Oh man, that feels huge. Okay, enough. Let's just see if that's even what this is about. We have the Eight of Pentacles crossed by the Magician. Didn't we get the Magician like the other day? Well, I shuffled, you saw it. And I think we might have gotten the Eight of Pentacles too. But sometimes I get mixed up with personal readings I do versus recordings. I don't remember exactly where it came. But to me, I don't want to say it's exactly what we were talking about because you can kind of read into the tarot cards how you want. But if I were to say the Eight of Pentacles is this energy of I'm heads down, doing the work, like I'm in my, like the daily practical stuff of it all, working towards something, gaining skill along the way, everything's in order, well spaced out. Like there's a deep sense of like knowing what I'm doing and where I'm going with the Eight of Pentacles. That is commonly what people read about it, so I'm not making this up. And then there's the Magician saying, well, I could make anything happen. I can do anything. I can believe anything. I have all the tools I need to make anything I want happen or appear in my reality. And it feels like this, like, well, if that's the case, like, how is that challenging me thinking I know where I'm going? And by the way, this must be it's kind of funny timing with the Course in Miracles lessons that we're talking about ego today, of this idea of the arrogance of knowing. And the arrogance of like I said in the lesson, of telling ourselves, I don't know. Who are you to say you don't know, right? I love it when it reminds me of like when people like, I've heard other people do this, and then I'm like, I want to start doing that. When people talk down on themselves or say like, oh, I'm so silly, or I'm so dumb, or they just self-deprecate in some way. Is that how you say that? So, like to use it as a verb. Anyway, when they do that to themselves, and you can talk right at them and say, don't talk about my friend like that. That's kind of what it reminded me of just now. Like, to have the arrogance that you don't know something is also arrogance. Like, to say, well, how do you know you don't know that? Don't talk about my friend like that. So anyway, I feel like that was something that came up today, and might have been part of what was releasing when I made that awkward pause earlier. But anyway, the Eight of Pentacles crossed by the Magician. There's something about, I think I know where I'm going. I think I know what I'm doing. I have all my ducks in a row. La, la, la. Like, that feels like a coping mechanism in a lot of ways, because the Magician is here to shake things up, to say, when I wave my wand, I don't know what to expect. What might appear here, right? The Magician and the wand, or they have all the tools. So it's like, the thing is, they typically do know what tool to use to manifest what they want. But also, there's a lot of surprise with the Magician energy, isn't there? Because it's like abracadabra. You know, like what could come when the smoke clears. Got all the chills on that. So let's see, where do we want to go? I have a little bit of time. So what I'm going to do is pull up, part of me I wanted to use these, which are the traditional artwork. So I kept trying not to use them, and then it kept pulling me back to these. So we'll see what comes up. So I'm going to pull a few cards to say, what is this really about? What is this really about? Is it about what we talked about? Getting comfortable with the not knowing, like that, getting comfortable with that surprise energy that shakes things up, like getting comfortable, not like to try to release that ego that says I know, or the ego that says I don't know. It's all ego. It's all self-identification, saying, first of all, that there's an I that knows anything is kind of funny. But that's a message we're not all ready to hear. So we'll just put a pin in that. Okay, let's see. What is this really about? So we have the Two of Pentacles, the Five of Wands, perfect, and the Ace of Cups. And then in the bottom, we have the Hermit. Oh my God. Okay. So right out here, the overall energy of the Hermit is one of, it's kind of funny because it's like the Buddha on the mountaintop kind of energy, where the Hermit is one of, like, I'm going away from society. Like what we think of as what a hermit is, somebody who's separated themselves from the masses to seek their own inner wisdom. And the Hermit, like, will shine that light in all the dark places to inquire what's really here. What is my inner wisdom? And look how he's holding a wand, which is kind of funny with the wand energy. So it's like that feels like when we think about, I think I know what I'm doing, and yet the challenge being like, what else could be here? What else? If we were just to pull our head up from where we think we should be going and what we think we should be doing, and the way things have always been done, and all, whatever that is for you, that structure or that expectation. What is that expectation energy in your life? How is it manifest? How does it show up in your life? Like, something is asking to be broken open and free, like the wand waves poof of the Magician. And like, for you, what might emerge when that poof of that smoke clears? Will the rabbit be out of the hat? Will the woman be sawed in half? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of magician metaphors. Or will there be some other surprise, like the rabbit turned into a chicken and you're like, oh my God, I didn't even know that was going to happen. Does this wand work? Like, so this is like trust. There's a deep trust element that the only wisdom that can really emerge from that space of allowing and not knowing and trying to get rid of the one who knows or the one that thinks it doesn't know. Because the knowing truly happens when we release all of that and allow that inner wisdom to come up and say, this is true, your truth, because it's different for each of us. Like, my truth isn't your truth, and vice versa. There is no objective truth. And so this is like raising your head up from the expectation you've put upon yourself to say, wait a minute, I could do things differently. What else is here? What else wants to express? And we only know that by shining a light in all the nooks and crannies. So here we have the Two of Pentacles. This is an energy of like becoming like see how he's trying to balance all of this? And so some in the waves and the ocean back here. So something feels like trying to balance amidst the imbalanced nature of the world. Like if the nature of everything is like, oh, the waves are going to do their wavy thing, whatever this is, I'm trying to like counteract nature, right? In order to stay upright. So there's that energy here of like, well, to me, it feels like, where do I feel an imbalance where I feel like I'm always trying to self-correct according to what the world is doing? Just like that energy of like, here's what I expect I should be doing, so I'm going to keep doing it without even questioning it. So where do you feel like that energy of like, the only way I can stay afloat is by trying to respond to what's going on around me? That's what I feel from this Two of Pentacles in this reading. Okay. Then we have the Five of Wands, which is this is like the card of ego. So it's funny that we were talking about ego, because this is like, I know what's best. Look, ta-da! Look at mine. And nobody is looking at each other. They're only looking at their own thing, saying, I know what's best. I know what's best. And so something here is really challenging the ego. So that ego energy is still here. That one, like getting comfortable with the not knowing. Because what's showing up here right in the heart is everybody thinking they know. And then this is a very uncomfortable situation to be in. Like always trying to respond. There's like that energy of like trying to counterbalance. Where do you feel like you're trying to counterbalance in your life? To me, I feel like in relationships, I feel like I'm always trying to balance them in some way. Like I've always felt that my whole life. Like whenever I come into a situation, I feel like I'm trying to balance the energy in the room by like, or because like I don't, like if somebody's all this way, then I tend to be all the other way. Just trying to feel, I've contemplated this in the past, obviously, but it's like trying to, that's that energy of like, where do I try to bring balance? And it feels like I'm counterbalancing something. So it's like, how am I treating the world as the correct thing and me having to respond to the correct thing? When in this is saying the correct thing is within you only. It's not in response to what's out there. That keeps bringing all the chills. And so that to me, how does that relate back to this, the energy that was here with us in the beginning about getting comfortable with the not knowing, getting comfortable with the absence of knowing and the absence of knowing that you don't know. Okay, I just want to keep bringing that up because it kept being here today. That's also a form of knowing, thinking you don't know anything. So it's a form of knowing. Does that make sense? Because I feel it. So that just wants to be said. So that feels like I'm just going to leave it like that. So the Ace of Cups is here right at the end of our little story trajectory, which is this something is now spilling open. Okay, so it's an energy of now the floodgates have opened, and it's almost like a truth is ready to spill out, right? Emotion, like I'm able to tap more deeply into the realness of how I feel, the realness of how I am. And because cup energy is all like that feeling energy, emotion energy, heart, love, all of that. I say all those words so you can tap into it how you want, but that's what cups signify. So we're going from a place of everyday life. Okay, well, if the magician is here to break things open, wave the wand and poof, what else might be here? Things are going to get rocky, right? We're going from 8 of Pentacles, chop, 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 things in a row, blah, 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 to, okay, things are going to get a little rocky as we start to question our inner, like, what is really here instead? What could be here instead? And then this is here to say, oh, we got to chat. The ego wants to be called out. The ego is like seeing it for what it is. And we don't have to believe a dang thing. And when we finally let go of this incessant need to identify as and with things, doesn't it feel like a disease, an epidemic of mass proportions? So when we could let go of it in our own lives, wherever it's showing up, like this, wherever the 8 of Pentacles is showing up for you, and here's the expectation I've placed on myself, and so I'm gonna do that thing, and without even questioning why. Like, what is, like, because you know so well. And something's here saying, because when we turn the tide there, when we turn the corner of like identity, then we can drop into the heart space and really just become so open. And so it's like a pure flow state where we don't, like water doesn't stay still, right? It's constantly moving. You can't say, that's me, this piece of water is me. As soon as you try to pick up a piece of water isn't even a thing, right? Like a drop maybe, but it's like, it just, you can't like hold it, and it's just so ever changing, ever moving, and that's our true nature, right? So this feels like a total release from the expectation we put on ourselves that we have to know everything that we know so well. And all of that is a form of ego identification. It's really, ego is a loaded word, but it's like the sense of self that says, I know, or I should know and I don't, like the shaming self too. And all of that is wrapped up in identification, and it's asking to be released through self-inquiry. So that's what our story is today. I love that the magician showed up in the challenge area, because it's like, ooh, he likes to play. Where can we get more playful? I think it's calling for playful energy. When you try to shake up the rigidity, you need the jester kind of energy, just something that will poke fun and not take yourself too seriously. So with that, what can we learn? Let's clarify. What is the what are we really calling into question? What do we need to be on the lookout for? 4 of Pentacles, that's a big one. I swear that one just comes when you need it. The Magician again right here at the center. Oh my God, and the Lovers, what? For some of you, maybe this is a love relationship that you're asking about or thinking about. So the Magician right here in the heart of the question of identity, and how do we dissolve, how can we start to dissolve the grip on identity that says, this is me, And we only really are calling that into question when it's kind of problematic. If it's not problematic, why question it? Right? So where do you feel like this sense of I that I'm clinging to? Look at her clinging to this sense of security that we find within this identification. I honestly have to tell you, I don't have the answers. I'm in the midst of this for myself, like this dissolving, like continually. I say dissolve because it's a gradual process, and it's not really linear, and it feels like a loosening energy over time. So that's why I say dissolve. But it's really this unclutching the purse a little bit more and more and more of this holding on to, like, why do I feel like I have to respond to anything at all? Like this, the idea that I have to say, this is what I believe, or I have to have an opinion about what somebody else says because it challenges my sense of what I believe or who I even am. Like, why would anybody saying anything challenge what I feel about myself? Because what I feel about myself is a solo job, right? So there's something in here that likes to get a little butt hurt or feel, is that a word still? Or likes to feel like wrong has been done. What is that within us that feels like we can be harmed by what other people say? Okay, and I say that because this is showing up as like there are other people in the mixed here, and it might be a love relationship. The lovers are showing up, but it might not be. It might just be your relationship with yourself, right? So where do you feel like your authentic self versus, like, when we don't feel authentic, it's usually when I feel like this could be true, is like if I have the ability to feel hurt by somebody else, like when they didn't even intend it, like, when people like may have said something dumb and you felt hurt by it, or they innocently were like, they poked the bear on accident and you had a reaction. But it's like, and sometimes they might be poking for real, maybe just out of fun, and you took offense. Who knows? Wherever you feel offended, maybe that's the word. You don't feel authentic, do you? Oh God, I don't think I've put them in those terms before, but if you feel like there's a big truth here, like if you feel offended in the slightest, I feel like that is like an opposite kind of energy of living in your authenticity. If you're living in your authenticity, nothing can offend you, right? You just feel the conviction of who you take yourself to be. So that feels true here. Like this idea that how do you, like, to, and it's so paradoxical to like have an ego, a sense of identity that can be injured, is also, that's when you're not living in your authenticity, right? Because I say that because the lovers is also one of, like, that living your authenticity, aligning with who you really are or take yourself to be or want to be, that authentic self that you're aligning with. Everything's lining up so that you speak what you feel, like your actions are in line with your thoughts, are in line with your feelings, are in line with the people now that you've attracted to you, your tribe. Like everything comes into alignment when you feel authentic. When you don't, you're usually getting to be offended feels like there's somebody in here you think can be injured. Like there's a me in here, first of all, that can be injured. So this feels like I'm holding to this idea of myself so tightly. It's really juxtaposed with I am so aligned in my authenticity. And the magician here at the center says that's because that's where it showed up. We had this in the challenge area, and now this is at the heart of our clarification with these two polar opposites, saying that's what this is really about. Like, the you that can be injured is not the authentic you. What does that mean, though, in the context of like, well, I've put all these, like, who I take myself to be, the Eight of Pentacles, this is who I take myself to be. The Five of Wands, this is who I take myself to be. And I need others to look at it. I need others to say, yeah, that's you. And this is showing up to say, if what others think or feel about you affects how you think and feel about yourself, that's not your authenticity. That's not true. Something needs to be looked at. What is it that you put? This goes back to the Two of Pentacles when it says, what am I doing in my life that always feels like I'm reacting to others? The outside, the others is the real reality, and I'm the one always trying to counterbalance the thing so we all stay afloat. Right? So that's what's being called into question. I didn't know we were going to go there, but it still feels like that that energy that is asking us, like, what else could be here? Because sometimes it's hard to see through that, right? It's hard to stop being hurt. It's hard, like, what else could be here when you shine a light into all those nooks and crannies? I gotta go because I have a client that tends to be a little early, bless her heart, and that's okay. I like early. I kind of want to get a couple more clarification cards from this deck we started with. What? Part of me wants to know just a little more nuance into, like, where do we go from here? Okay. This idea that we, like, getting comfortable with the not knowing, which to me, I was going to say, is paradoxical to the, like, living your authenticity feels like a deepening of the knowing of who you are, right? And like so much confidence comes from that nobody can harm it, because you know that your own, like, you just know yourself so well, and the only way you can be harmed is if you accidentally bring harm to somebody that you didn't intend. Like, it's sort of like a oops, I must have acted in a way that, is out of alignment, so let me question that. So to me, like, what is it about that will, like, what's a little nugget of wisdom or something to watch out for with that journey of the paradox of, like, dissolving the self and also reaffirming your authenticity, which is kind of like reaffirming a deepening sense of self. So I kind of want to know, like, what is it in that is so paradoxical where two truths can coexist and bring such freedom? There's the Four of Swords, the Star, and the Two of Cups. Okay, here we go. First of all, this might be a love relationship for some of you. Like, I just want to say that because right under the Lovers is the Two of Cups. So a lot of times if I get both of these in the same reading, I just want to say it might be, are you questioning a love relationship where you feel like you're always in reaction mode to that person? And really it feels like if you feel like they're the ones poking the bear and you're the one in reaction mode, I just want to say, they might sense, only feel into this, like, if it's true for you, I just, for some reason, wants to be said, like, people, like, are they poking the bear because they want you to come into your authenticity more quickly. Now is the time. Like, are they doing that so that you will put your foot down, set a boundary, reaffirm who you are to them, right? Like, I don't know why. So maybe that's for a specific person that wanted to be said, but let's go back to this. So the star right here in the heart of the clarification is one of wish fulfillment. So it's like where there's this inner and outer alignment happening. So this is about alignment in your own self, like, and not reacting to the things around you, not always feeling like you're in reaction mode to the world or having to fit a mold. Like, it feels, there's an energy here, I'm getting all the chills, where it feels like energetically, do you look at the world and every surrounding you put yourself into and say, here's a space, a mold here, I'm going to put myself in it like a missing puzzle piece. Okay. And that's going to make this thing just right. It's going to make everyone feel better. It's going to make me feel like I fit. So it's like always looking like wherever you are putting yourself and you're saying that's the me sized and me shaped hole I can go in. And then everything's great. Something here says, has that been problematic for you? Do you always feel like, because feels like reaction energy, like I'm going into, like, it doesn't have to be all bad either, right? It could be just your energy is one that says, I'm going to bring balance. That's what I do. And that's what I love to do, right? But something here is saying, question it. How does that not align with where you want to go and how you want to be in the world? Do you want to be in a situation and say there are no holes here? Everything's allowed to exist. It's like there are no missing puzzle pieces. This is a weird mixed metaphors here. But the reason I'm saying that, there's the inner, this is a time of going inner and having that self-reflection time and trying to understand your alignment. It's an alignment with your this human self and my higher self, whatever that is for you. Okay, could be your spiritual self. You take it where you need to go, but it's the physical and the beyond physical, like my human self and my soul self, where I need to know the truth of both so I can bring them into alignment, because the Two of Cups is here that says these two things are coming together. They're weaving together. And the cups being from this heart energy, this like feeling energy. The swords being of the mind. So where am I out of alignment between my head and heart? That's a good way to summarize it. Because there's a wish fulfillment here saying something is like deeply, deeply wanting to come into alignment. That's what this whole thing has been about. And it might be like shedding, like there's still this overall energy of shedding the expectation energy, however that's appearing in your life, so that you wave the wand and poof, what else could be here? It's like almost like a dreaming energy, only the dreaming kind of energy, like cards aren't showing up, but it feels like possibilities, loosening the sense of self that I've always taken myself to be, while paradoxically, like we said, reaffirming your authenticity, who you really take yourself to be, right? So it's like this, the paradox is allowing the both and. I have to stop here because I could keep going on this forever, because I love paradox, because there's literally truth in everything, and allowing two truths to coexist. How can I dissolve the self and reaffirm my authenticity? I don't want to say reaffirm the self because that's loaded, but reaffirm my authenticity doesn't have to mean reaffirming ego. It could mean when you bring the physical and soul self together to say, my soul self, that's who I really am. All I am is love. Well, then how do I bring my physical self into alignment? I need to express that love more. That's just an example. I need to tell the people around me I love them. And if this truly is a love relationship for you and that person's poking the bear, I think they want you to tell them how you really feel. Because why should it be scary to turn around and tell somebody what you really feel? From a heart space, not a reactionary space, because this is all about already being in reaction mode to the world and trying to fit in to other people's ideas of the world. Like other people are creating and you're just the one trying to fit into their creation. Oh, I didn't bring my water. So I'm going to stop there because this is all about you being the creator. The magician showed up twice. What else are we going to take this to be? You're turning into the manifestor, the creator. That's your wish fulfillment, is you becoming the creator. And the storyline here is like, where are you out of alignment? Because these are like, both of these are saying go inward to shine a light in the dark places that you haven't been looking at. And all that means is like old wounds. What are my triggers? What are things I don't like to feel or think about? Now's the time to start to shine a light in there. And this is where, like, spend some time with your soul self and say, well, that self is pure and untarnished and only love. So where in my physical reality am I not expressing who I really am? Because I might feel like, ooh, vulnerability, anybody? Vulnerability's hard. Oh my God, I gotta go. Bye.
Hi, okay, I had to go really quickly because my client was like arrived earlier than usual early, and so I apologize for the quick goodbye. That's all I wanted to come on here and say. I'm at home now. It's several hours later. I'm here with my cat. And so I just want to say, time to turn the laundry over. That's all I ever do. Cats and laundry and cats. So anyway, sorry for the quick goodbye. I did like kind of ending on that note about vulnerability. Something there. Have a good night. Bye.